Listen in as the two business guys mastermind on ways to eliminate the wrong kind of marketing cost without starving your business of sales. Enjoy. This business podcast, the two business guys mastermind, uncovers for you secrets and share tips and tricks to entrepreneurship as they mastermind on how to have startup, operational, and overall business success so that you can go on to get better results. Enjoy. So, all right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's the two business guys mastermind, and we're going to be masterminding today on a actual case study. I was talking with a potential client the other day, and they were deciding on some marketing stuff. Now, we were talking to them in a whole different way about some other things, improving, the operation of his business. And he posed a question to us. Well, he posed a question to me, and I brought it to John. I says, you know what, we need to mastermind on this. So here's the setup. Here's the scenario. So young man is going on with his business, just started really business strong about a year and a half ago, right? It's getting his branding's out there, starting to get some traction. Now he's starting to get all of the questions about, marketing. Can we help you with this? So he's got people coming out of the woodwork because they're noticing his business, right? So they're approaching him. And this one particular organization approached him and they says, hey, come on our podcast. We are a platform that will put you out into all of these different areas, We'll put your business on the map and all this kind of stuff, right? So he went on the podcast, and of course they started selling him, John, saying, hey, your podcast was like the top rated. It got, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 or something like that. And what we would like to do is we would like to have you run your own podcast, and you would have control over this, that, and the other. And it's only going to cost you $5,000. Right. And he's like, look, I would like to do it, but again, everybody, as you're listening, your business is just starting to churn out some income. It's just starting to feed you. And you're going to have people that say, hey, listen, we can market you in a whole different area. So what I had him do is literally think about it. So we did kind of a, consulting right there. I says, okay, well, let's just get a little piece of paper and let's just work this through. So here are some of the things that I set up for him. I says, okay, A, is what they're offering relative to where else you're spending your money to acquire a customer cost effective? Is it cost effective based on where else you're spending your money? So we put these figures down. All right. So I say, how do you acquire customers right now? Well, I do phone calls, I do these events and et cetera, et cetera. I says, okay, so they're offering to put you in front of and get you an audience of so many people. All right. Yes. And they even said that, after the episode that, people were calling in. Now get this, John, this is the sale part. People were calling in asking about this guy. Saying, hey, does he do this? Can he do that? I says, again, I don't believe a salesperson who has something to sell until I can see for myself that these people called in. I says, now, one of the best ways to find out, I says, did you notice an uptick in your website traffic? He says, well, now that I think about it, not really. I said, okay, mark that down. Right. So if they're inquiring about you and you gave that information, these are some of the things that are naturally going to happen. People are going to try to find you. So did you start noticing any kind of uptick? Oh, I didn't notice that. I said, so if the salesperson is telling you one thing, hey, we got all this traffic. Well, it could be true or it could be sales.
Right? What did I miss? What business this gentleman was in?
Well, I don't want to go into much detail.
Like industry, like over professional services.
He's in the, okay, so yeah, that is a relative question, John. So he's in, how should I say this without revealing too much? kind of in the payments. So he would, his company comes into companies and says, we'll handle all of your staff and stuff like that. We'll handle all your
Okay.
staff. We'll do the pay them. We will handle all of your back end and stuff like that. So you guys can
So
kind of figure out
professional
your,
services,
yeah,
not so he's not manufacturing a product or
not
anything
manufacturing
like
product.
that.
He has
He's
a professional service business. Yes. Yes.
okay.
That's the
Wonderful,
broad
wonderful.
category.
Yep.
Now, so, and that right there, just what you said there, John, leads me to helping understand, when do you say yes to these marketing opportunities? So I says, how would what they were offering translate into into customers? I said, so you have to know what your method of getting customers, your method of getting customer is, the traction channels that you use. And with this one that they're offering for 5,000 of your hard-earned dollars, and they of course going to give them a discount. Oh, we'll give you a discount, and you can run your show and et cetera, et cetera. We're the platform. Now, I'm not saying that it was a bad deal. What I'm saying is that you have to put it down and make it relative to what your costs already are, right? Cost number one, cost to acquire a customer. So if you're saying, okay, they're going to give me a half off deal, $2,500, right? Now that's monthly, $2,500 monthly. Am I spending $2,500 monthly now to acquire a customer? And if you say to yourself, well, gee, yes, I am. And then you noticed that just from that practice session on their podcast or their platform of advertising, that basically all they're doing, John, is using the podcast approach to be an advertising channel.
Okay.
That's how you break it down, right? So,
Yeah.
so that's some of the things that I very, very quickly said. So these are just questions to ask yourself. It's costing you that much to get a customer now, and this would broaden that ability. Do you have the kind of business that you can scale quickly? Let's say you do a nice cast and it goes out to all the people they say, and you now get 700 people calling you. Can you scale that? I said, now, if this were a products business, it's like John and I, what we're creating with, the Entre Hustler box, we can scale that quickly. So we may be able to absorb that because we want customers going over to our site. We want customers signing up to our email newsletter. We want all these things. We want them to get the box at the end of the month. So we may be able to go 700 customers for $2,500. Okay, we might take that deal, or $5,000, because it was going to cost us $7,000 to go out and do the necessary advertising to drive people to our website in the first place. We have instant scalability, but his company does not.
Is first, how do we vet and verify that he's getting customers, legitimate potential customers, to listen to his podcast? And I think one way to look at that is, hey, I'm going to give you this code, and if you go to my website and enter this code in, I'm going to send you a free email in regards to 10 tips for X, X, and X. And
Absolutely.
something that they're able to verify that, hey, these are people actually that are converting and are interested in going over to his website.
And that's a really good one, John. That's a really good one, because that way you can quantify. I mean, because don't get me wrong, you got some people out there scamming folks, right? And they send the bots, and it makes it seem like your website got a whole bunch of traffic, and well, it was the bot, or it was a whole bunch of folks in a room just calling. You see what I mean? So now you've got to verify that return on marketing. What we call it is ROM, return on marketing. Right? What was the return on marketing? We got to get past those kinds of metrics that make us feel good. The metrics that says, oh, I got a lot of hits. Well, hits don't pay bills. Converting people that came to that website pays bills. Converting them into sales. Now, that becomes the extra thing in his particular business. I says, this is the thing that we have to be very careful of when you're just starting out, is that vanity stuff. right? Now that's a good dopamine hit to the head, isn't it, John? You say, hey, look, I feel good about that. Oh, I got 9 out of 10 stars based on what the content and based on my style of delivery and et cetera, et cetera. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, but does it convert into sales?
You know,
And that's one of those key things.
this is something that hits really close to home today. And as entrepreneurs, we have an ego, even if we want to admit it or not. And Randy, I had sent you a book to review, and I sent another individual something else to review, and both came back, hey, it needs work. Both of these things need work.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, am I gonna listen to that? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Because am I gonna listen to that because my ego just took a hit? And so we have to be cognizant of the information that we're getting from salespeople, because a lot of times this salespeople are not giving us the information that we
That's right.
need. We
That's right.
need that raw information that is valuable to us, from people that we trust and care about us succeeding.
Right.
Um,
Right.
we don't need smoke blown at us because an individual someone wants to make $5,000 and signing you up for this podcast. I want to hear, hey, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Don't give me just the sales pitch,
Right.
but how are you going to make my business better?
Right. Honestly. Right. That,
Mhm.
John, you hit on it right there. And like when you sent the book over, and I started reading it immediately, right? And I started making notations, started noticing areas. So when, and I wasn't able to get right back to you. And that's really, look, for book writers, I've written 6 of them. It's hard to take, right? I tell you, when I used to get those, those manuscripts back and they're full of red stuff, or if it was electronic and they got all these check changes and stuff, and it's like, man, this is bad. But it's supposed to be bad. Like I told John, I says, it's your first draft is supposed to be bad. What we have to do as entrepreneurs, and this is tough, is that because we don't really have to listen to anybody nowadays, we can just go on with our thing and call it good. And it's all relative to where you're going to use that material. Now, as I looked at it in its current form, I says, okay, if you're going to use this as like a free giveaway, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get information that helps people, go from one stage to the other. Right. And some of the feedback that I gave is like relative to the title, to what was inside, to then, is it exciting enough to get me going? Gosh, Lee, you know what? This is pretty good. I
Mhm.
circled areas that I thought needed punching up a little bit. I circled areas where I thought maybe a couple of grammatical things could have been changed. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And that's the kind of feedback you want. But now imagine if I were a book publisher, but I'm a vanity book publisher and I'm going to charge you to publish you. And it's perfect. Oh yeah, oh yes. Right? It could have spelling errors, up to wazoo, right? I'm going to take that book because I want the 2,000 or whatever dollars.
And
So
we're going to sell 25,000 copies within the first month. That's
yeah,
what a sales person is going to pitch you.
right, because they want that money.
Right.
Be very discerning. And this is what I did for him is I literally said, how about just looking, and it's a comparison. Because sometimes with entrepreneurs too, when you tell them no, as an entrepreneur, our job, of course, is to push back against no, right? Push back against, people saying, your business can't do this. So that's kind of in us, right? To be a
Mhm.
contrarian in that sense. So you got to be careful about that. So all I did was I says, let's put some stuff down on paper and let's help you discern, is this the thing you want to go into based on the kind of business you have? One of the main things is if he got 700 customers, it would bust his business
Mhm.
because the way he's new, he's operating, he's doing some a lot of the work himself,
Mhm.
with an assistant. It would bust their business, and then now you're going to either do shoddy work, you're not going to be able to fulfill, and you're going to have some trouble. And it's one
You're
of the
going to
reasons
lose those customers as fast as you get them.
exactly, right? So then the mechanism, if you will, by which you are doing your customer attraction, and that's another thing to see. It's just a mechanism to attract customers. Sure, you would love the podcast because, hey, we got egos. We want to get out there and we want to be heard. We think we got a lot to say. And but we have to ask ourselves that big question. Again, is it going to serve my customers?
Mm-hmm.
Not you, your customers. And then how? How does it serve your customers? Quantify that, define it for me, prove it to me. Little things like that, right? And in this case, you have to prove it to your business, right? So I think at the end of it all, he decided that perhaps this isn't the thing that I need to do right now based on those other factors. Now, again, if it's a different kind of company, John and I got the Entre Hustler box, it becomes a different deal. We want a whole bunch of folks going over there because that thing will scale simply because the amount of people that buy, it's ready for you because guess what? It was built to be a digital delivery system. That's it. And we can look at our spend by how many people convert. So we say, hey, $2,500. Now we may not use the podcast delivery method because we have our own podcast. So they may not be the company we would go with, but it would be like anybody else coming saying, hey, listen, we would like to, help you put your stuff out there. We have a network of just so many people listening, all this salesy speak, right? And I go, okay, that's fine, because that's just like influencer marketing. It says you got the folks, we got the stuff. Mm-hmm. And let's go ahead and do a thing. Now, here's something, John, that I have been putting a lot of salespeople to the test with. And this is, man, this backs them off quickly. I'll say, I tell you what, how about if we did a 14-day trial? I'll try it for 14 days, and I guarantee you, and this is how I say it, I guarantee you I will put in my all for those 14 days. If I get sales enough to cover that first month's rent, then I'll pay you. Mm-hmm. Now, if I, take that deal and don't do the work, and we can write it up just like that. Mm-hmm. If you miss one day in those 14 days of doing what we tell you to do, then you know what? You owe us some money. Right. Or whatever it is, right? But if you say, hey, now that's a deal you can start thinking about taking because you start getting income before you start getting expenses. And now you've heard us talk about this on some of the casts before, is that to the party, you don't bring a cost unless you bring its friend revenue. Revenue's got to come with costs.
And there are so many vehicles for that right now. And I'll give you a perfect one that I see advertised all the time. It's the one, hey, you know what? You can put all of these different logos on the bottom of your website, as seen on TV, yada, yada, yada. Publish an article, pay $99, publish an article with us, and you'll be able to put all this at the bottom of your website because we're going to make sure that it gets out on. And there's some obscure websites, they may say NBC, but it's NBC Podunk, Idaho, on a email format to a town of 5 people that really does nothing, no type of penetration to your business at all.
So you paid $99 for the right to say that. Now, so again, you see something like that, everybody, and because you're hearing us mastermind on it, think about that for your business. If you can quantify that, having that social proof, right, that testimonial to a degree, right, it's like a sticker testimonial, and it's the thing that made you get the sale, okay, $100 out, brought you 500 in, or it was the thing. Well, how do you quantify that? That's going to be maybe in your survey. What made you decide to go with us? If you're asking that kind of question to your customer. Oh, well, it seemed like you were really on the ball. You had all of these places that have, endorsed your business, and I'm using the air quotes, right? The endorsed your your service or product, and then you kind of go, oh, okay, so now it's working for you. I'll tell you something that I didn't believe in, and I'm starting to change my mind very, very drastically and radically and quickly, is the testimonials. Because you don't bother people with testimonials and all that kind of stuff, but man, I'm gonna tell you, they work. They work. Putting them on your website, and one of the best ones that I have found is, and I'm going to be incorporating this like significantly, is the video testimonials. Because I want to look in to a degree. I want people to be able to look into people's eyes and go, hey, you know what? We got the Entre Hustler box, and it was for real. We opened it up, and it helped us do this next thing. So we're glad to give them, that $29 a month or whatever it is, right? So that's where you're starting to go, okay, great, let's go collect some more of these, right? And it becomes easy for you guys to get that kind of testimonial, because you can just call them up on Zoom and say, hey, listen, let's do a quick testimonial, and then just use their part of it. That's something that I've been collecting lately, and we'll be doing that when we roll out in beta form. We roll out the Entre Hustle box. We'll be maybe sending it to you, and you tell us how it worked for you. When you open up the box and you see the stuff that's inside and you're able to implement those things, tell us how. We need that testimonial, and we need the honest stuff. We're big people, we're big boys, we can handle it. So if you say, hey, this is thumbs down, man. Those John and Randy guys. But we'll take that. And then we will ask you, all right, great, let's bring it back in and let's improve it. And then let's put it back out. And now this is for you. What does it do this month? Oh, it's getting better. Great. What else can we do? So that is the opportunity. So as you hear what we just said, everybody, how you now can get your product, new product, old product, revamped product, you know what I mean? Get it into the hands of people that are going to be using it and get you feedback. And then you can put that on your website, right? But when we get back to this particular case study, everybody, come on, $5,000, that's coming out of your net. That's a lot of money. Even I know it's going to be a business expense, but we really have to discern early on, because that's a smack to your cash flow. That's just coming out of your net profits, et cetera, et cetera. And the company can't show you immediately the return on that marketing. And that, everybody, becomes a potential problem. So, John, can you think of some other situations, like you just put one out, that you have companies that are doing this kind of stuff, putting it out there like that, making people feel all good, but there's no quantifiable way?
Absolutely. Yeah, there are so many different things, especially for those in the coaching space. Randy, you and I are in the coaching space, and you and I could, I think it's called PLT or PTL, where we could have books with our logos on them. These are mass produced. Yes.
Yeah.
We have all those books mass produced with your logo
rights
on them, but it's like 5,000 other people have those same books with their logos on them. It's just another one of those gimmick type things.
Right. And so John and I don't always 100% agree, and this is a moment. Here's how now this is the beautiful part about that whole approach, right? When you are entering into the PLR environment, right? And I tell you, I'm a purist, man. I like to write my own stuff. I like to do my own things. But every now and then, for one of my other companies, what I'll do is I'll grab some material if I think it's really good, and then I'll offer it to them. But here's what I do. So I don't represent it as myself.
Mm,
I don't
mm,
say, oh, Randy Outerbridge book. My stuff is my stuff. But if it's something that I've curated for my customers, I'll say, and I did one quite recently called Release. I grabbed a PLR product called Releasing Your Inner Entrepreneur or something like this. So what we're going to show you is a couple of things that you could do. And I said, curated by,
mhm,
in my
mhm,
company, Our Bridge Business Institute. So now that is a whole different thing. That's like having an art gallery. Think about this. You're not the artist, but you
mm,
curate it. Now, your art gallery is typically the one that becomes super famous because you're curating all of this good stuff for your clients. Somebody else drew and painted the picture. You curated, you brought it, you did your advertising, et cetera, et cetera. That's the same concept. So being strategic that way. Oh, here's another thing you could do. What if you grab that PLR and you created extra value to it? Right now, there's so many different things you can do with that PLR. Take out a subsection of it because you got private label rights. They give you the rights. Now, their job is to sell this to as many people as possible. And some very good PLRs, they will stop it at so many, 2,500. That way you don't have so much of the same stuff out there. But what if you highlighted areas? What if you brought the PLR in, and I did this for one other one, and then spoke over it?
mm.
Brought the PLR in and put videos to it. See, now you have taken and curated something in and created something new that you can call yours. You see where I'm going with this? Because now you've got your voice over it. You got areas that what if you put it on and you highlighted areas? So what we want to talk about here in this section is this. And then you give your perspective on this section. Now you've added value to it. And because you could, it's like songwriters that have their songs used by somebody else, but then they add a whole different flavor to it. You got to pay a little bit to the person that wrote it, but because it's now recreated with your own style, with your own beats, with your own voice, with your own, right? Now it's yours. This song by Dolly Parton, this song by Janet Jackson, this song by, Usher, this song by, you see where I'm going with this? And you go, wait a minute, I think I've heard that beat before. Yeah, it could have been a 1960 song, 1980 song, 1990 song, but they've redone it. That's one of those areas that you now stay out of that gray area, right? With people going, that's not yours. I've seen that thing somewhere else. Here, hey, John, to that point, and this is what we want to, and how this circles back to our original case study, is I saw an article, man. Now, this kind of bugged me a bit. I saw an article online and I thought this is a really good article. And then the lady, at the bottom says, you know, she didn't say curated. And man, I tell you, within a day, I saw the same article, slightly different, by three other people.
Mm, mm, mm.
Right now, and all as if they wrote it. Now, that
Not
to me is disingenuous. I don't like that. That's, what I mean? And you got a lot of services now that write articles and do a lot of things. And I'm telling you guys, saying something just as clear as, hey, curated for your reading entertainment, that gets you out of that gray area. Now you're kind of doing me a service. Now I really kind of go, thank you for that, because I don't care where you sourced it from. But if you're representing it as your own, yeah. And it's all keyword researched and keyword rich and all that kind of stuff. And you're trying to do a thing for your site and all that. I get it. I get it. But be just careful on that. And to our point with the young man that and I say young man as he's not a young guy, but he's young in business. Uh, when we look at people advertising to you, these are some of the things that you're going to be discerning. Is this a PLR type product? Can I scale this product? Is this going to be authentic to my business? Is it going to help my brand expand? And this is what I told him. So I did some like quick math. I says, just write down the cost to acquire a customer right now. I mean, that could be, I don't care if you're looking through, yellowpages.com. I don't care, or however, word of mouth. What does that cost you? You going to an event to meet some people. What does that cost you in time? Right? Those are all costs to acquire a customer, CAC. Just write it down. And then now, if you got somebody else that says, we're going to do that for you much more efficiently, and you give them that, hey, I tell you what, I'll do it for 14 days, the 14-day trial opportunity. Let me see if you can make me some money first. Not anybody's doing that, right? And I'm telling you, it's an area where I'm really seriously thinking about going into and starting a thing. If I get your results, pay me. Now, I understand you got a lot of people out there that, thank you for the information. I'm out of here. I'm not paying you a dime. Those are just thieves. But if you stand strong with what you do and you are telling people, hey, listen, don't pay me a dime until I get your results. Who's going to say no to that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm suggesting that, perhaps as a business model, I could create a significant business by doing it that way. And we've seen people do it. Gary Vaynerchuk, give, right? Seth Godin, give. You see where I'm going with this? So it does have a place. Now, do a lot of people just take their information and run? Yeah, sure. Neil Patel does a lot of it. Just gives, man. Right? And you start saying to yourself, wait a minute, maybe there's something here. So start asking that of anybody that's asking for your hard-earned money. You got a 14-day trial? What? No. Get out of here. Or learn as much as you can in reverse engineer. There's so many different things you can do, John. I wanted us, though, to come on and speak to that and at least have our entrepreneurs thinking about a way, like you said, get a code or a phone number. And here's something else that I experimented with a guy here. I says, give me a separate Calendly link. I'm driving traffic to the site. How do you determine whether or not it's working? I says, how many people sign up under my Calendly link? Right? Call us today, because it's the kind of business he has is a call me first kind of business, and I vet you and do, right? So that's another way. All kinds of tips and tricks that you can do, right? An affiliate link. John, we've done that with Ineffable Socks. I said, hey, listen, give me an affiliate link, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to push the socks, and I'm going to push the, the products, the branding and stuff like that, under the products under the brand. And if people roll over to via that affiliate link, if they roll over and buy some stuff, then then I automatically get paid. So many different things you can do, everybody, but you don't have to come off your hard-earned cash. And don't let them give you that exploding offer stuff. Hey, this is 14 days. You better jump on this within 14 days, otherwise it's gone. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'll catch you later. This is not a stock. You don't have to get it right now. Right? You don't have to get the run up. You can decide later if it's within what your company does. Right? And that should inform us too, John, when we're running our businesses, right? Have enough money set aside for these types of opportunities. You're constantly testing the waters to see what traction method, what marketing channel works the best for you. We've got to do that constantly in our business, everybody. All right. So, John, that was what I wanted to bring. I wanted us to really mastermind on that. I know there's some other stuff that I had talked to you about, and I wanted us to explore that as well. And that goes into, now we're going to be switching gears here a little bit, everybody, and talking about the tools of your business. John, I am seeing a lot of money spent. And when I say this, I probably mean from me. A lot of money spent on tools, business apps, business newsletters that you've subscribed to, uh, Fiverr stuff that is done for you and it's sitting there. Business tools that you can use, but you're not using them. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely,
That hits home
absolutely.
for both of us a little bit, doesn't it?
And yeah, absolutely. And one of the first things that I tried to do is find the ones that are free first. You know, I've talked about Wave, the
Oh
accounting
yeah,
system.
yeah.
They have a free version out there.
I think I turned you on
Um,
the wave, didn't I?
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You're like, I'm using that. And me, John told me he went out there and it's WAVE, right?
Yes, yep. Wave app.
So let's look at this, guys. We're gonna go and pull it up, and I want to show you on screen the cool thing about this. John, are we an affiliate for a Wave app? Or I don't
We're
remember.
not, but did you see that I had an infographic uh,
I saw an
designed for
infographic the
that?
other day.
Yeah, that's to walk people through the basics of that. I like it so much. Thank you, Randy, for turning me on to that. But let me see if I can.
All right, I'm just going to show you guys the Wave app. All right, so we'll show you this screen here. All right, so this is Wave, award-winning financial software designed for entrepreneurs. Now, here's what I want you guys to think about, right? And when we start thinking about tools, we also talk about the free stuff, but we say how you can get super intelligent just from what other people are trying to sell you on. Now, here's what's funny is the young entrepreneur I was talking to the other day. I says, look at how they're selling you and see if you can reverse engineer that and use some of those same tactics in your business. And he hadn't thought about that part.
Mhm.
This is something that you can do, and it could have a significant boost to your business. Look at how you're being sold. If you were close, if you were almost like, man, or if you were repulsed by that approach, right? You would reverse engineer that and not do that. You start asking questions like, what almost got me there? What did they say? What did they do? What did they appeal to psychologically? You see where I'm going with this? What did they use as a tactic? And you say, wait a minute, could I use that in my business? Especially if you buy it. That's how you get a double bump return on your investment. You not only maybe get the return from what they're going to be showing you, but you also get a massive return on using their tactics out in your business. We call that, a cross industry use. That is a significant opportunity for you. Trust when I say this. If you can apply that to your business. Now, when I look at the Wave app here, let's take a look at this. And I use it too. And so it is, John, tell us a little bit about it. It is so easy to keep track of yourself.
Absolutely, and just as easy as the setup, you can see that you can sign up with your Google account and have access to it immediately without setting up a free account. But it'll let you invoice uh, directly through the app and accept payments, which I love. I've sent invoices directly and received payments the same day. And I remember the old way of doing it when I was mailing it, uh, printing them out and mailing them. But this is so much easier. Individuals can use plastic as well. So there's a merchant service component tied to this. All
And
of this
look at this.
links to, yep, yep. All of this links to your bank account. So all of your bank account, your business bank account stuff migrates into the Wave platform. The only thing that you have to do is go in and code it. Hey, that's a travel expense, or
Right.
that's for this project or whatever. But other than that, I mean, everything's migrated directly into it. It'll allow you to pull up your reports, your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet. It'll you can put any, if you have business that has loans, if you have equipment and stuff, you can put that in there and it'll show amortization and different things like that. So many tools for free. And, I speak with businesses all the time. I spoke with a business owner last week. How are you keeping track of your finances? Well, I collect all my receipts and I'm looking at my bank account every week to make sure that I'm not in the red. Well, this is real time and this is going to give you real information. This is going to tell you if you're making money or you're losing money.
Right away.
And it's free, it's easy, and it syncs to everything else.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I know individuals that spend hours just prepping their file that they give to their accountant at the end of the year. This is so easy. You just print off a couple of reports and send it over to them.
Yeah. And this is now think about this, everybody, when we start in this section of it, tools. Now, what we want you doing is using these tools. And again, I tell you, by the end of our conversation today, John, we will be affiliates for this individually and as together on some of our projects, right? Because look, this is what I want to show you. Here's some really just gold mine stuff, right? So if you look at this and you say, yeah, how can they give it for free? Well, they've got components in here. They want you using it. They want you getting used to it. They want you to get dependent upon it, right? Because there's some parts in here where they say, and if you need these extra services, here's what we charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now,
you could do payroll through this. There is an extra charge for payroll.
So your business grows, you need payroll now, you're paying some folks, you're already used to it. That's
direct deposit. You can direct deposit right to them, ACH transfer.
Yeah. So imagine this, everybody. You're now seeing this, right? So you've got the products themselves, all right? So you're looking at this and going, should I try something like this? You start trying these things for free. This is what we talked about with the other folks. Okay, you want to sell me something? Where's your free trial? What do you mean a free trial? No 14-day free trial. Let me try this, try to make some money to see if I'll use the money that I make in that 14 days to then pay you your $5,000 or whatever it is that somebody's out there asking you. That's some of the stuff that you say, hey, wait a minute. With so many opportunities out there to do your business better, we talk about that here at our the Two Business Guys Mastermind. This is why we mastermind on this stuff. We've taken a case study and we've kind of vetted out, should that person pick this kind of marketing opportunity, all right? And now we're talking in this second half of this about the tools to use to now maybe save your company some money. And here's what I want to show you. Look at this. Let's say you start using this and you say, I really love this. And then they got, hey, would you like to become a partner? In other words, you are now presenting to other folks. This is a partner, typically partner mean affiliate. So if you like it that much, you then sign up to be an affiliate. I do it with I've got, I don't know, maybe 20 different affiliates. I use the product. I say, man, I really like this. Then I say, you might want to use this too. And I tell people that they would really benefit from this particular product. And then typically what I'll do, John, is a video on it. It says, I'm showing you that I'm using the product.
You did that on a piece that I did a couple of years ago. I remember seeing that. I mean, when you and I were first becoming introduced to one another, I remember seeing that and being impressed.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, John. But that's kind of, some of that stuff is how I learn. And then when I'm learning, I'm saying, this works. Let's teach it. Let's show it. Right. And it's what when John and I came together to do the Two Business Guys Mastermind, this is why we did that, is that whether we got, thousands and thousands of people signing on to hear what we have to say, we wanted to have every week an opportunity to come together and says, hey, John, what kind of business problem did you get this week? And then is there something that we can share with our audience as we think about that problem, right? And then we solve it and then share it with you and you go, gosh, man, you know what? I need to be using a tool like Wave. And again, you're hearing we're not affiliates for this yet, right?
And I already paid to have an infographic made out of for it. That's how much I like it.
And this is probably what John and I'll do next, right? And we'll put it in the Entre Hustler box. Is we'll say, All right, John, let's get on and let's talk about that infographic.
Mhm.
Right. So now we'll expand the infographic. You can look at the infographic and kind of figure it out, and it could be valuable to you in the box too. But now, what if we added some extra to it and says, this is what we're talking about? This is how Wave can help your business be better. And John, being in the business that he's in, that he does, during the week, he is seeing a lot of businesses that could use this service, right? And I saw it early on. But here's a more powerful thing. Look at this, everybody. I do this stuff a lot. Oh my gosh. I go right down to their blog. Now, this is going to really blow your mind. Look at this. And I get some extra skills. Right? Look at this.
Mhm.
Managing independent contractors. Now, they're using their blog to obviously use it as an SEO tool, right? Search engine optimization tool. So that, something in the blog triggers something that somebody's already looking for. I mean, we'll get into that at another time, right? This is what I do outside of when the two business guys are masterminding, is showing people how to monetize all of these different things, right? But you can go right here. Let's say you're kind of new, starting off, managing independent contractors at tax time. Oh,
Mhm.
all the people that you've hired. Yep, the fivers, the independent contractors. I don't care if they came over and painted your fence. If your fence is connected to your business and you maybe have customers come over and you need that fence to look good, you see where this is going. All right, I'm just going to say that. Talk with your tax attorney, tax person, tell you how to write that off. But you may get some tips here. Complete guide to cash flow for small business. Are you kidding me right now? That means you never had to go to university. You just come here to places like this, figure out what they're talking about, see how it helps you. They're giving you the app for free to use, and they're giving you valuable information. Are you kidding me? All right, getting paid, complete guide to getting paid. This guide will teach you how to set prices, send professional invoices, accept payments, and protect yourself from unpaid invoices and payment scams.
Mhm.
Think you might want to know that? Now, the two business guys are masterminding on a case study. Now we're talking about tools, and we're also going to be suggesting to you that don't let your tools just sit there in your toolbox without being used, right? Give you an example, John, something that happened to me just recently, man, and it just came to me like out of the blue. I bought a new ring light, right? Because I'm going to be doing some more videos, and the little ring light I had was okay, but not quite enough. Didn't illuminate enough. So the area that I have it, if you notice, I'm sitting, I got my desk here, and then I got another one that kind of goes in the L, but then I have it against the backboard. And there's a specific reason, because I want to be able to point back there when I'm doing a video and says, okay, like what we're talking about, 1, 2, 3, 4. So anyway, that's a part of the strategy. Now, I couldn't figure out where I have it set up, how to set this ring light up in a way that it goes through my desk, or that it will be on the back of my desk, because it just looks gnarly, right? It leans back, the desk hits it, and just bad. So I'm sitting there thinking one day, and I had just been in my toolbox doing some other stuff, right? And I noticed a tool, and I didn't make the connection at first. A tool I haven't used in I don't know how long. And I'm sitting there looking at the desk. I'm saying, wait a minute. The ring light is on a straight pole. And what if I drilled a hole through the desk, drilled a hole through the desk with that tool? I wish I had it in here. I used it last night. Then I can pull the pole through, and the ring light could sit there without looking crazy. And it would be perfectly positioned. Because right now I have another ring light that's hanging on something else and all that stuff, right? And it just came to me. So we don't want you not using your tools. So you may have to go back to your toolbox, your metaphorical toolbox, look in all the things that you've pulled in, the apps, the whether it's some how-tos, some guides, and now look at those things and start brainstorming on them and saying, how can I use this in my business? Now, John and I do this all the time for clients and stuff. Is we show you how to use them, because that's kind of our skill set. And I do this all day long, just figuring out how to use different things to help people monetize their life and businesses maximize their businesses, right? So these are some tools that we're showing you right now. Didn't cost you a dime. Going over to something like Wave app, plugging it in, and hopefully, maybe by the end of this, we'll have this as we'll be an affiliates for them. A little bit of a process, and then if you like it, you can become an affiliate. So anything, and this is what I do, John. Anything costing me money, I want to try to get that money back by maybe presenting the product if I like it, and presenting it to the people that I talk to, my clients and customers, et cetera, and saying, here's a link. I do it all the time. Something costs you, get that money back in multiple ways. You're already using it, and they've got an affiliate program. You can become an affiliate for them and start presenting it. And that's with just about everybody. That makes sense a little bit? Okay, let's go ahead and stop share here. So, John, that's kind of it, isn't it?
It is. It is. But there's so many tools like this, Randy, that business owners don't even know that exist, and they could be taking advantage of them to help their brands, their professional services company, whatever it is.
So now that's our job. So you see why we get up every weekend and get on the horn and start talking about this stuff, right? It's because we come across so many different things. And as entrepreneurs, we're inundated with so many tools that we can use. I've got just like a host of them, man. Literally up on my, if you guys can't see it, but I've got the tools that I'm using: Snagit, Soapbox, iWriter, Laughing Bird, Flixer, Press Play, SpeakPipe, sending all these different things that I have to be reminded that I use, right? And then when you're reminded, when you can see them, then you can say, oh, wow, that's what I can use right now to drive traffic, to do a variety of things. Free stuff. I got a free service that I use for just one segment of an email list. Just one. And I use it for free simply because I don't mind them having their little name at the bottom. And I just wanted to test out how they performed before I bought into the bigger parts of it. You see what I mean? So you got your MailChimps, you've got people that say, hey, you know what, you get up to 2,500, blah, blah, blah. You can have this many people in before we charge you, et cetera, et cetera. They want you to use the product. Now, for your business, let's reverse engineer that a little bit. Can you offer something that gets people into your business? Gets them using it. Some component that just doesn't cost you a lot, that they'll get so hooked on it because they love it. Parts of your business now. This is what we're doing with the Entre Hustler box, is that we are saying, and trust, John and I are still, working on the name. So we Entre Hustle box, we don't know what you'll like out there. We know what we like. All right. And we go through a couple of iterations and spend a couple of dollars getting things made up. But ultimately, which one do you like is going to be the matter, right? When we start rolling it out to you, say, hey, I like the Entre Hustle box, or I like the Entre Hustler box, or I like the Hustle box, or I like the Hustler box. You decide on it. But and we did that in one of the other videos, Business from Scratch, if you guys noticed that on one of the other videos. So, you to get these things out there testing, get them out there into your probable customers' hands, and have them start giving you feedback. And entrepreneurs, look, don't be married to the idea that you came up with. It could adjust and change. Don't be afraid to say, I need to punch this up a little bit. Send it out to people Send it out to who are super critics, and give them full permission to criticize the idea. Hey, you poke holes. Don't send me good stuff back. Send me holes. What do you see that's wrong with this? And, rarely will you get something back. It's like, oh, it's perfect. You'll get something. And that's your opportunity. Now you got to defend it. You got to be able to say, well, the reason I did that, right? But if it's making sense, doesn't make sense to that probable customer or that person that you've given permission to, then it might not make sense out there when you go to sell it. That's some of the key things. All right. So we hope that what we talked a little bit about here help you. The case study, and then showing you an app, a tool that you can use. We're talking right now in your business. John, I'm gonna tell you, quite honestly, I had forgotten about Wave app because I was using some. I had forgotten. I use other things. I have an opportunity. I do so many landing pages and I build so many sales funnels and stuff like that. I can connect them right to PayPal. But I forgot that this one, for a project that I just finished, that I can use the Wave app. Forgot
Hmm.
all about it. Right. So, and this is kind of being reminded of what tools are in your toolbox, everybody. Sometimes you got to walk by that toolbox and just open it up. Right. And just go, oh, shoot, I forgot about that. I got another one that I was using the other day, Rocketm, to make a video. Right. And I'm like, that's right. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can go and send it off to somebody, and but sometimes you don't want to get your hands in it yourself because you could do it very fast, they're very easy with the assets that you have, right? Your pictures and all that kind of stuff. Just go ahead and plug it in, and you can make a nice little intro video for yourself. And I was like, yes. After I spent $100 on Fiverr or something like getting it done, so I gotta did this. Being reminded of your tools, everybody, is something that you're going to need to do. And this is something else that I think John and I can do. We'll probably put this in the Entre Hustle box, Entre Hustle box, Hustle box, Hustle box. We don't know which one we're going to call it. We're going to put it in there is helping you with your tools. So I think we can provide a service that what you have, let's use what you have so you don't incur more cost. So I can imagine us coming in and saying, show us what you got right now, and we're going to show you how to integrate it all. And there's I think, a really good opportunity for that. It's like the person that comes and says, you got all this cable stuff. I'm going to show you how to connect it so that it talks to each other. Oh, you got that, you got this over here, that doesn't connect. We're going to make so that you don't have to spend extra money. Use what you got, the tools that you have, and then expand them out. And I do this stuff all the time. So that's a bit of my expertise. And John, in the capacity he sees businesses that needs different tools. So we have a unique perspective and opportunity for you. John, what else can we help people with today? I was very excited to just literally talk about the case study, and I wanted to really get after making sure people are out there using the tools that you probably forgotten about. Like I just told you with Wave. What else can
Yeah,
we
I
share with
think
people?
I there's like I mentioned earlier, there's so many of these types of tools out there, and just spend time researching. I mean, I have a whole folder full of these types of resources, and just Franklin Covey has one in regards to building a mission statement. If you wanted to build a mission statement or value or get your values formulated for your company, but there are so many different things like that. SBDC, SCORE, and a lot of these organizations, um, they have a wealth of information in their vault that is free to anyone. So take
Yeah.
advantage of some of those free tools that are out there.
You know what, John? You just gave me an idea. So, and what we could, this is what we're going to do for everybody out there. We love, just doing stuff for our clients and our audience, right? We're going to look at a lot of those free things. And what we're going to do is I think every week, if we can start bringing you a new tool, we'll explain it out for you.
Mm-hmm.
For example, John said he had the infographic for the Wave app. What do you think if we went out there, pulled it up, and just made it make sense for you? Now you could figure it out, sit there and go, okay, how can I use this in my business? But we could perhaps come up with a couple of scenarios, and we could say, okay, for example, if you have a contractor business, here's how you would use the Wave app. if you have a service business, here's how you would use the Wave app. Product business, here's another situation. So we perhaps can come up with scenarios, literally show you these things, and maybe that interactivity as we mastermind on them makes it easy, simple, and then you can go, oh shoot, seeing it like that versus just seeing it on this is the information, figure it out. I don't know, maybe that's something that can be valuable to folks.
I think so. Absolutely.
So it gives us something that we mastermind on anyway, right? How we can help small businesses, how we can help the entrepreneurs starting off, how we can help the you grow your business. We do this stuff all the times, and I could tell you, we get excited about this stuff too because we may hear something and go, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Thank you, John. I forgot about Wave app, right?
Mm.
That then we use in our business. I'm going to send out a bill today, an invoice today, use because I had forgotten about the tool, right? I typically will send it, the invoice out in a whole different way. But I'm thinking, wait a minute, I can run it through here, and use the stuff that I have for free. All right, so we're going to be doing that for you guys. Be on the lookout for when we figure out the name. Be on the lookout for the Entre Hustler by Entre Hustle box. We're figuring it out, guys. Don't judge us. It's going to be fun. It is a resource rich something. Is so resource rich, and we've collected some accomplished folks. We've collected some people that are out there grinding right now, and it may be an industry like yours. And if not, we can show you how across industry you can utilize this piece of information, right? So we've collected this for you. We put it into a nice little box, and we invite you to open the box, look at the tools inside, look at the things that we've accumulated and curated, and then say, and pick out the ones that you can use in your business that day, that month, that week, however you want to see it. All right. That's what we're going to invite you. We're going to be rolling this out probably within the next month. We've got a kind of a goal here to have this thing within 30 days, 30 days from this date, to have a version of it, the beta version of it, the pilot program, however we want to call it, out there for you to start testing and using, and it helping your business. And we want your feedback. We're going to leave all of the best ways for you to get in touch with us to tell us about how it's working for you. Does that sound fair enough, John? We can do that in less than 30 days, can't we?
I think we can.
The
Yes.
clock is ticking now. See, we've said it to you guys. We've said it live. Now that puts us under pressure. And we hope that we can get it to you so you can start checking it out for us. All right, John, I'm going to sign off, man. I think we've done some good stuff here today. We've helped some folks.
I think we have. I hope we do every week, but yes, I think so too. A lot of great information this morning.
Okay, everybody, get out there, leverage this stuff, use it. Give us a call if you have any questions about the stuff that we've talked about today. You can see it. You can listen to it, obviously, on all the places where you can find your podcasts. We use the Anchor platform, and then it distributes it wide, to iTunes and all the good folks, right? And then we also have the YouTube channel. Now, we just started the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow that. We invite you to go over there and listen to some stuff. This is a couple things that we need for the algorithm to work. We need you listening to it, or watching it, I should say, and then watching it for a time, for a while, right? And then subscribing to the channel as well. So we need, so many subscribers and so many watch hours. So we hope that you go over there and do that. If you want to see us visually talking about this stuff, send us your comments. We love that because we'll answer the comments, and then we'll go from there. All right. Hey, everybody, take the information, go from there. John, thank you for coming on again today, man. It's been super fun. The two business guys masterminding in a whole great way. Good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every week's a good week, Randy.
Oh, I love this.